It should be here.
I mean, if you, we're always, like, I can tell you this, we're always accepting donations. I mean, if you have stuff like that that you want to donate, you want to show,
There's stuff like that you don't come across. Cut through the back of that sail that far. It would cut them all right in half. And that stupid ass son of a bitch, I mean, it was pulling the thing down, so, you know, rather than reverse it back up, he ran back there with an axe and cut it. It was just like a meat cleaver coming through.
Yeah. The cable is based out of Guam right now. And then the MRS Land used to be out of Lamad, Italy. But they moved her to Diego Garcia because a majority of her focus has shifted to the Pacific now. So yeah, so they're the only tenders that they got left. So
Well,
they're
the
a
boats
dying
are-
breed, sadly.
Well, the boats are so high tech today, and they got so much stuff on board they can damn near fix anything themselves.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot.
This is the ship to the Nautilus.
Right.
Anyway, they had told them to move out and let the Nautilus sit, which always pissed them off because the Nautilus always got first berth.
Right.
Well, when she was running her screws, the famous transmission in the world, USS State, this is the tender. Please cease turning your screws. They're in our engine room. 24-inch holes.
Yeah.
We had a surface to put pumps on. Here, and then this is where they sit. The rudder, up here is the attack center, where my equipment was. Back here is where he works. Right? Yep.
Wow.
See where I was?
Wow.
Fire control was right here, and there's the reactor.
Wow.
Oh boy.
I started in the Navy in heavy cruiser. Okay, then they built the Nautilus, started a nuclear submarine. And Jaime, you know who Jaime
Oh yeah,
is.
I know. Yeah.
So Jaime decided he wanted certain fire controlmen. They went you, and I ended up there. Tim,
Look at that.
this is all my gear.
That was your fire. This is your fire control gear.
All the way down
Yeah,
here.
all the way
Billy.
this whole
All the way on the
hallway.
left right here.
Wow. Look at all that.
This is where we fired the torpedoes.
Wow.
That's the same as the chart down in my basement. My steaming watch when I'm not doing fire control with sonar. That's right over there.
What is that one, Dad?
Sonar.
Sonar?
Yeah.
That's where you could listen.
Oh.
Miles away you could hear there.
Wow.
You can hear just about anything that you want. It's and it only got better.
Well, I'm sure.
Sonar, you know.
Girls,
Yeah?
on the other side of this,
Mm-hmm.
that's where the reactor is.
Really?
What?
The reactor. I bet you're probably 86.
82.
That's close.
And sonar. And they had good sound in there, you know. So I would play Beethoven on one of the things, you know. So I had one ear for Beethoven and the other ear to listen to the SQR4.
Nice.
Okay? And everybody down in the, I'll show them when we go down. And the control room turned around talking to the chief of the watch, bullshitting, because we were all automatic. The guy, officer of deck that sat up in the caboose, fell asleep.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm listening, and all of a sudden, that don't sound right. So I took the music off and put it on both ears, and the sound kept changing. And I look over at the bathythermograph, and you know how deep that goes. It was off the end of it.
Oh.
We'd go another 200 feet, we'd hit crushed that.
I think they told us that story.
I want to tell you something. I picked up the 1MC right in there. I said, get this fucking shit buck. You know, and boy, the captain was out of the wardroom, bang, one step, you know, he was out there. He was relieved. We no sooner got in port and he was gone. I can remember his name, Green. And, yep, well, we took us in the yard at Portsmouth, New Hampshire. You know that the skin on this is HY80.
Right, yeah.
And you know how thick it is?
A couple inches, isn't it?
It's 3 and 15, 16
Right.
inches. You can see every rib of the submarine.
So, oh man, that would explain a lot of the way the hull looks. Like when we were painting the hull and stuff like that, you can see.
Can you imagine the pressure that this baby?
He's sitting. What's that? Hull? What is that? And he's sitting stern plate.
Wow.
No, he wasn't doing. They're just shooting the crap.
Oh, he's just. Oh, okay. There's only one guy driving. This guy
Yep.
driving.
Yep.
Okay, gotcha. Because I mean, I can understand a chief sitting back
He
here.
took a
is
lot of push. And
So
that was back in the old days.
3 people are actually in charge of the maneuvering of the boat.
The other thing I wanted to tell you, we had an air leak.
The keel.
Oh, jeez.
How do you find an air leak?
With soapy water.
Yeah, well, you don't take your hand
Oh no.
and
Yeah.
put it behind there. It come out with 4 fingers.
Oh. Ow.
3,000-pound air.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it. Absolutely.
It's high pressure.
We had 4 banks of them. I told them we burst the 5-inch main cooling line to the reactor. It was near our time to rebuild. We had a surface, shut everything down. Down here, and that's what we had to get in port with. 1/4 of a guppy. Finally, a tug come out and got us, but we were close enough to help.
I can only imagine because we actually this battery like these cells we actually just recently stopped using these ASB 49s. Yeah, both boats that I was on, my first 2 boats we had ASB 49s, lead acid batteries. We just recently got rid of those, and I can only imagine the nightmare it would have been to use those things. Because I mean, our outboard we can barely do 2 knots.
Well, face it,
So
this was the first.
I know.
And Master Chief, he was what we call a god. I mean, he was between an officer and a chief, and he was the Navy's Bible.
Oh, okay.
And the officers respected that.
Really?
Oh yeah, yeah. If you're the chief of the boat, you are.
Ground coffee.
That's what kept him up for 16 hours at a time.
88 days in here. So we were under the keel of the Ark Royal. And when they called off all the helicopters and everything, we snuck out from underneath those 6 fish in the side of it. All this other bullshit. So they sort of babied us.
That's nice. Yeah.
Nobody
But
else
what
can
used
say.
to blow their minds, you know, she shouldn't have come back.
Yeah, I
Also
saw
one
the
of the
pictures.
biggest
I saw
deterrents
the
in
pictures
there.
of when she had the collision and lost like half her sail. Like we had the pictures up in our library up there. That's that are replacing all the LAs, and then they're right now getting ready to do the Columbia class, which is going to replace the Ohio's.
Well, I've read all the
blisters.
others, but I haven't read about the Columbia class. That's going to replace the Ohio.
It's going to replace the Ohio's.
Well, we
Yeah.
got a bunch of Ohio's.
We don't have as many as we used to because they converted a lot of Ohio's
I know
to GMs.
yeah.
So there's not as many as we used to, but there's still, yeah. The Columbia, everything I've seen about it is just going to be.
Oh,
They're talking about having only 2 people in the entire engine room. It's like, what?
they're going to have some guy sitting up there with a thing like you people talking when they're running the fire control.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's.
Refit at New Hampshire. They were brash. Okay, they milled them down. All right. Used to have a wooden teak deck on the front of it.
Yeah.
I got a piece of teak deck. They all polished up and everything. The screws were melted down and made it the exact replica of that Nautilus.
Nice.
Fastened to it with my rate
That
and my
is-
numbers on it.
That is
Really?
like
Where is
true
that,
flame
Dad?
weapon right there.
Down on my
That is
desk.
awesome.
Is it really?
To the highest bidder.
What do you want? Here.
About
Oh,
50
yeah.
Oh,
We're
yes,
50 miles south of it.
Uh-huh.
We surfaced. Okay, put a raft over it. Yeah, 3 guys in it, and with the 3 guys in the raft, with that in the background surface, we took a picture. And believe it or not, it was an Engineman's Right, first class Engineman Williamson. She was a brilliant painter. She made me a painting like this off that picture of that slide. And I told her, you really should come here.
I was gonna say.
I'm up there and my wife, and there were 6 of them in a row. And they were, you know, they're all total black, and the numbers on them were, you know, about this big. She actually got goosebumps.
Oh, they're impressive. I've only been on one.
I said, that's what they're supposed to be. I said, they're instruments of death.
Yeah.
I said, the only reason you're not at war with Russia or anybody else is because of that.
Yep. Yeah, I've only spent a little bit of time.
But each one of them had 6 to 8 warheads per missile.
Yeah. And
Now you figure what they
So-
can target.
I looked it up a couple of years ago, and a single U.S. ballistic missile submarine is like the 6th most powerful nuclear power in the world. So that's that's over countries. So yeah, just a single submarine.
I didn't
Now, can you
realize.
imagine? Now, can you imagine if you're
each
Russian and you got 8 of them parked around you?
Yeah, that could be.
24 missile tubes, right? Imagine now you replace the ballistic missiles and then you have the same amount of space, but you put 124 Tomahawks in the same amount of space. That's what the GNs have. So
You
like,
saw what
that
2
missile that you
Tomahawks
see-
did over
like-
Baghdad, did
yeah.
you?
I know what it's
that missile that's above our head right there, 24 of those things go in 6 packs. And they
They slide it down those tubes.
and so yeah.
And I had one firing run in Korea. Okay, and it was 8 tanks, North Korean tanks coming down the side of the mountain. Now the heavy cruiser had 9 8-inch guns, high explosives, right? One like this, one like this, and one like this, right? One broadside, right? Took the side of the mountain off all 8 tanks.
I can only
Will slide down inside the barrel of a 16-inch battle wagon.
I can only imagine Steve's one of the fire.
You know what a
off.
torpedo is?
Oh yeah.
Will you imagine a 16-inch round?
Yeah, high explosive round flying 20 miles through the air.
The warhead on them stand about that high. Then there's a powder charge that goes behind it, stands another 3-foot high sandbank flowing in behind it. And when you fired that, it moved 14 feet sideways in the water, pushed that heavy cruiser, 17,500 tons, it moved it sideways. in the water.
14 feet. It would move
I believe it
Really?
because when we fire just one missile on the ballistic missile subs, it will actually flex the hull by like 10 feet. Wow. And
Oh, you can't believe the power.
yeah, it's the stuff that we got nowadays. And even they had back then, I can only imagine. I would have.
See, I could talk to you about those now. That was taboo.
Yeah.
The day we almost lost the Nautilus, I told you the main cooling line
Yeah.
and everything. Hush, hush. You daren't say a word, nothing like that. I went home that weekend for Liberty. Opened up the Sunday paper and there was the whole count of it.
Yeah.
Now you tell me.
Oh, somebody. That's a great deal.
He's the guy that came and gave a speech here. They were just
with
on
Mike.
the line, William R. Emerson. He was a commander then. He wasn't an exec under Williamson, but he was exec. Then he was an admiral when he just came here and gave the speech. And he said, "Bill, now here, I'm going to write this up for you. You're leaving." He said, "You bring him venison back." He said, "We'll forget about it." So I bring him back a whole package of venison. He tear up the wheat cake. Oh. and I had H. He was senior captain in nuclear navy. I'll tell you what, If I ever had to go to war in the submarine, I'd go with Beach.
Yeah. I don't know if I had a choice. It would be tough between either him or Flecky.
Yeah, he'd be good.
Because I've read Thunder Below twice now, and the stuff that they did back then, that's just amazing.
I said, you know, I never disagree with anything you said but one thing. He says, what's that, Bill? I said, you wanted to flip a submarine. Did you ever hear about that?
No.
He wanted to take a submarine down like this and do one of these with it. But can you imagine what happened?
That would be a bad day.
The batteries and everything else.
Yeah,
that
that would be a really, really bad day.
I said, you know, I'd go any place and fight any war with you, but I ain't gonna go with you if you're gonna flip that damn submarine.
I've done a 25-degree up, and that's enough for me.
Well, I've been rolled right out of the bunk. You ever go to sea in a skipjack class?
No, I've not done the LA's.
You know the difference between a surface ship making a turn and a submarine.
Oh yeah,
A submarine turns like an airplane.
Yeah.
Surface ship goes like this because it leans outside. Okay. Where you go in at 30 knots in a submarine to make a tight turn, it'll roll you right out of the bunk.
Yeah. When they usually
out.
they usually give us heads up because like we'll do we do the angles and dangles. We still do that now when we have like guests and stuff that we want to approach. And whenever I've been in the rack, I've always made sure to know when that was going to happen because it'll still drop you on the deck. And I have a top rack, so it'll be a long way down.
People can't conceive how these newer fast attacks and stuff, how they can push one of those things through the water at the speed they push it to.
Oh, it's
unbelievable.
We do a lot. We have a lot of power back there.
I could sit 50 miles away with that with the SQR4, and I could hear the SS United States and the America coming out of New York City. I could hear their screws. But that was 20 years ago. Metropolitan Medicine. He was in their nuclear power division, high up in it and everything. And he wanted to come to Nautilus, had his own airplane. So we flew into the local airport. They actually sent a car out for us. It's the only civilian I brought on board here that they allowed to do it.
That's what they were. Well, they were talking about.
Nice. Okay, which was nice.
Nice.
John's dead now. Venison told me tore up my lead papers.
Yeah, his wife was in. Well, you know, the way they build submarines today, even today, see, I worked at EV for 20.
The best of them all, and I wouldn't take my lawnmower through.
His mother, Roscoe Pinnacle was his name. His mother and this evening, talk about it before.
I'll be damned.
Yeah. So we lost about 5 electricians came off my boat and went to the ground. 2 of them were brothers. They
We were about 150 miles offshore when she went down.
So you were only in 58, right?
Yep, 15.
But you were over when you were in Bermuda the same time we were. I was on the skipjack.
Oh yeah?
In that year, 1960.
I tracked the skipjack.
Huh?
I tracked her.
Fastest submarine at the time. And that was about 1960 in Bermuda.
Shit out of that.
In Bermuda.
Yeah. You know what a torpedo light sounds like when you're inside a submarine that's going by. That sounds a bitch. I bet you covered 50 miles in about 20 minutes. Got the hell out of there.
In fact, the station in Bermuda had problems with their water, and we supplied them with water from the summer. The base.
Yeah. You have to tell them the story about us sinking the Ark Royal. Beach with the Triton.
BLB.
Yeah. We single-handedly, USS Triton, took on the whole British NATO fleet and sunk them all, except the Ark Royal. And they had helicopters off the sandbags and looking for us all over the damn place. You know where we were? 5 feet under her keel. Well, they weren't aware that a submarine could go that fast. So when they record all their helicopters got back on, everything started normal steaming. Stuck out from underneath them and stuck 6 fish in the side of it. Then, yeah, but then being beach, surface, put a boom this conning tower for clean sweep with the pretty sweet.
No, I didn't know much about it at all.
Well, they both had engine rooms, twin reactors, same thing. Something went down here, you could cross the deck back.
Oh wow.
Yeah, the primary.
That's why they use that one to go around the world.
I believe it.
In case anything failed. It was the back of the, they built one like that. That was that, to prove that you could go around the world.
Yeah.
See what you learned today.